Hi, it's Chris with Implied Music. It's Mozart's birthday today, Monday the 27th of January, the end of the week. Philip Glass's birthday is on Friday. It's an exciting week for musicians. Well, you know, there's so much great music of Mozart, so much. I'm at the piano and I thought I would take a look at just one little example. It's a fun piece, a sort of intermediate piano piece, the Fantasy in D minor. And the reason I want to look at it is it covers so much ground. Fantasies typically cover a range of instrumental styles and kind of reveal composers' thinking. So let's take a look at the Fantasy in D minor by Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Well, this is Kerschel 397, the Kerschel number, a catalog number. There are so many Mozart pieces. Okay, so it's marked andante in cut time, that C with the slice through it. Think of it at 2-2. And we begin with a very simple statement of the D minor sound. Arpeggios. G minor with an E. Is that E minor 7 flat 5? We're not sure, right? Is it maybe even a C7 with the D in the bass? We're not sure, right? We've got that tritone. So interesting. Where are we? Oh, that happens twice. And then this beautiful, definitely a D dominant sound. But the C is in the bass. I love that. That sequence of chords is worth looking at in detail. This beautiful C-based D7 is really unsettled, right? It pushes us forward. And of course, as a D7 chord, it pushes us to G minor. And that's what we have next, right here at measure 7. An F chord, an E flat major, and then this G sharp diminished, so, you know, sort of striking. And it's kind of a E7 flat 9. And then an A major. And then this beautiful thing, which I don't know, it's a little figure on the A, right? This sort of thing where you go. It's kind of like each one of those half steps below the chord tone leads you forward. Well, that's the first idea. Page 2, completely new idea. We were in an andante, now we're in a adagio, a slow, stately sound. It's quite high on the piano. And yet it's still D and A7, right? So this D and A7 and D. Let's do that again. Here we go. D minor. A7. And do you notice how the melody uses that half-step push to the chord tone, D sharp to E? It's a very Mozart-y thing to do. Let's continue, still A. Back to D minor. And then this beautiful moment. Quite dramatic, he wants it forte. And again, that same sound that we just heard A7 with a B flat on top, and then the same A, reduced version of that here, right? So all that was a secondary dominant pushing us towards A. So going on, remember we just sort of pushed ourselves to A. I love this dramatic sequence. It's marked forte. And it ended on A, didn't it? And now a light little instrumental form that's super fun. I love this little figure. So the right hand, da-da-dum, 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 dum, da-da-dee-dum. And the left hand just kind of dropping in a pulse, and they combine to make this really interesting sound. falls to A minor on the next page. A minor. Yeah. Well, that's fun, right? I love that little sort of hoppity, hoppity, hoppity thing. And then he pushes us up. And this thing, da-dum, da-da-da-da, all upbeats. It almost sounds like a little fusion riff. Those are all upbeats, and the left hand is downbeats against it. Etc. So much fun. Okay, big old rest, and now we get to hear that melody that was D minor before in A minor. Remember, fantasies aren't structured like classical pieces often are, in really strict forms and regulations about how you expostulate a melody and then vary it. Now, you can go wherever you want, but tonic-dominant relationships remain important. So now we're in A minor, which is the 5 of D. It's literally the same thing that we heard before. And then this is a nice change. Very dramatic. And then a big old fast run. And then down here we've got it's just a gorgeous big arpeggio. And you know what? That arpeggio couldn't be simpler. It's a C diminished chord or an A diminished chord. Big transition chord. If we turn the page, we're back to that fun little gesture that we had before. This time it's in D. That's a D7 chord. And now all upbeats, right? Yeah. And it sets us up for another fast run. And this is the same fast run that we had in A, except now it's, I guess you'd have to say it's a kind of a D version. What's it going to resolve to? A, of course. And now just a chromatic scale that just goes up and 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 up. And it's going up, of course, to the F, which is the melody that we heard at the beginning of the piece. I love how it comes back. It's almost like a rondo. I will say this about Mozart. He wasn't afraid of simple melodies. If you listen to the operas, say Don Giovanni, or the comedic operas like Così fan tutte, the arias frequently begin with what sounds like a folk song, a simple pop melody. And they're just tremendously engaging, right? Super fun. Where were we? I kind of got lost. I distracted myself. So this is all kind of taking us the D. This is a beautiful moment, the E flat major. And then this is another diminished chord. And it resolves to D, and D minor, A7, and we'd expect D minor, but now the key changes at the end of the piece. There's really like 2 pages left, and it's D major. And that simple, beautiful, sweet sort of folk song Mozart character comes out. It even says here in my script, dolce, sweet. I mean, doesn't that sound about as like folk melody as possible? It just kills me. I love it. It's so, it's, pretty. going on. Let's see. Yeah. And that's the first ending. The second ending resolves to a classic Mozart figure. That D chord is played like this: low, high, middle, high, low, high, middle, high. This is called the Alberti bass, and it's everywhere in classical music. You'll find it in Mozart, Haydn, Beethoven. Anyway, so here's our second ending. More of the same, right? And then this beautiful sort of version of an E7. And then a big old D down here. And then back to our lovely little theme. To the 4 chord, just like the Beach Boys. Resolves to the deceptive cadence, the 6 chord to B minor. And then there's our E dominant chord, or maybe it's G sharp passing. And inverted is typical, is sort of a very standard, sort of authentic cadence. And very quietly he asks us, and then, go ahead, make some sound at the end. I'll tell you, the fantasies are so much fun to play because they cover so much ground. And this one begins in D minor, ends in D major. We touch on all these key signatures along the way. We also get to play around with these unusual, well, not unusual, a variety of instrumental forms, right? Instrumental form is how you play the chord, how you voice the chord, how you articulate it. And it really goes directly to style, doesn't it? Well, one of the great stylists of all time. If you can play piano a little bit, if you can read music a little bit, read old stuff, even if you just hack your way through it like me. I'm no Mozart interpreter, right? But I always get something out of playing these pieces because it's like for a little moment I get to crawl inside the head of one of the great artistic geniuses of, Western European civilization. It's an enormous gift, and notation is just wonderful for that kind of thing. I've said that before, but I really do believe it. Well, happy birthday, Mozart. How old is he? Well, he's dead. I suppose it doesn't matter, but Mozart. I hope this was useful. Like and subscribe, ding that bell. I'll see you guys next time.